Dan. Another day, another comic book week. And this week has been a very interesting week in comics. But yeah, I can say a lot of people are interested for one comic, and that comic is Batman number 12. Yeah, to speak about this comic, this is the very first appearance of the character Verity. I think that's her name. Which is basically Alfred's protege. Because someone has to, fill in, Alfred's boots, after he's been dead for, I don't know, like 5 damn years or 7. I don't know how many years it's been since he's died, but they finally did something about it. He's not just a ghost anymore. Well, he probably is gonna still show up as a ghost, but we at least have someone to do something in the damn motherfucking house. But as an issue, it was okay. It was just basically her first appearance, showing like the sort of character that she is. It was basically Batman and Damon just trying to see like, oh, if this person fits into the Bat family, and you clearly see that within the issue that she is the shit. She is a butler just like Alfred was. But it was an okay issue. It was mainly like an issue people were excited for to see just what this character was gonna be about, and yeah, this just felt like a filler issue, to be honest. It felt like a filler issue. This didn't really do that much for me. I was hoping that it would like connect more with the upcoming event to do with Poison Ivy, and this did not do that. It was mainly just like a filler issue, like I mentioned, to do with the character. It was alright. I know this is a key issue, but as an issue, in terms of rating, it was okay. It was decent. Alright, we go on to the next. We have Marvel Dokkan Strike. Well, man, Marvel Dokkan First Strike. This is just a cross promotion with the game. And that game does look really good. If you look at the trailers to see how the game looks like, the animation art style look amazing. Arc System Works, they know how to make fighting games look beautiful. And yeah, because of that game, it made me want to, check out this book. This book basically just, shows the story before the events of the game. And yeah, it's not very good, but it's just a cross promotion, to get people aware there's a game, and if you like the game, get the comic. But I would say skip it. But if you really like the game that much, get it. I do intend on getting the game eventually, but when the game gets cheaper though. All right, so we go on to the next one. Another Queen in Black tie-in. And this is to do with Eddie Brock in prison. This takes place after the events of the Death Spiral storyline. And just to show how Eddie Brock is, how he's doing in prison. And I think it's decent. This is basically just a build up to when he eventually shows up in the actual, number titles of Queen in Black. Funny enough, at a midpoint of the story, it shows that the events of Queen in Black is just barely started. And he's like, I want to get out, I want to help and fight, and I want to protect my son and that. But the guards, of course, were like, shut up, we're not gonna let you, we don't trust you. But at the very end, he gets a special surprise by a special symbiote, which alludes to him breaking out because of that symbiote. But in terms of a first issue connected to the storyline of Queen in Black, I thought it was pretty decent. The side issues for the tie-ins are actually not bad for Queen in Black. They're actually pretty good. And yeah, I really like this issue, like this cover. It looks nice. I didn't even talk about the Batman one. That cover looks nice too. It shows the character in all her glory. But yeah, same thing for Eddie Brock. Shows him in all his glory too. But yeah, now we have Queen in Black issue number 2. It's only been a week and we already have issue 2. And I really love this cover. But the story itself, just like the first issue, more fighting, and against Noel and Hela's army. But besides that, the only interesting thing that we do see is towards the very end to do with the the Spider Group, which basically shows Dylan Brock, being targeted by Hela because they see like that he has a sort of special power that could help her in terms of like getting more symbiotes, to join her army, for what I understood. And guess what? She kidnaps his ass at the end, and I'm curious to see where this goes. But I still have faith that this event is gonna be good, because the last Spider-Man event I thought it was pretty good. Not amazing, but it was pretty good, you know. But this, I hope it sticks the landing. I like everything so far with the tie-ins and the main issues. But all right, we have a random issue right here. That's the next one. This is basically another Marvel Rivals comic. Funny enough, the very first Marvel Rivals comic that came out was actually my very first comic, you know, the first comic that got me into the journey of reading actual comics. The cover I ended up getting for that original should be this one right here. But in terms of this, was just basically, you know, to advertise the Hood being in Marvel Rivals. The funny thing is, when this got announced to come out, the character wasn't even like officially announced. When I saw that, I'm like, they're low-key alluding that when this comic comes out, this character might come out along the same time, even though the character has not been officially announced at that point. And guess what? He comes out tomorrow, Friday. But yeah, they know how to plan this shit accordingly. But I don't read Marvel Rivals comics though. I ended up getting this really cool cover though. That's a nice cover. Alright, on to the next. We have Fantastic Four issue 15, the legacy issue. Well, it's not a legacy issue, it's the anniversary of the characters. 65 years. These characters that have existed for 65 years. These characters are older than my fucking parents and shit. That is fucking crazy. This is basically like a one-shot sort of issue, as like a one-shot filler issue. But as I can say with other Fantastic Four issues before this one, the filler issues have not been good. The most recent ones. I would say the last time Fantastic Four was good was during the Malice arc. That was like 4 or 5 issues long. That was the last time it was good. This one does not connect to anything story related to with the Fantastic Four, but as a standalone story, I actually thought it was good. It basically just shows the Fantastic Four like being stuck between like some time stream, I guess the space between time or some crap. Bunch of scientific crap within this series. You already know how Fantastic Four explains science, it gets confusing. But basically, they use a sort of ability that they have, or technology that they have, to contact someone that could help them escape out of this loop. And the person that they go to is a 15-year-old girl from the 1700s. Yeah, 1770 something or some shit. Yeah, colonial times and shit. Yeah, they asked help towards someone who's like 15 and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? How is this person gonna help them? I guess basically the Fantastic Four have like 4 chances to talk to her. I guess basically like each time they have a chance to talk to her, they have like I guess like a minute left before they have to talk to her again for another 20 years, because I don't know, technology. So when they first meet her, she's 15. 20 years later, she's 35, and then another 20 years, she's 65, and so on and so on. But yeah, so within each time that passes by, she's building this contraption that could help them escape out of this time stream. And I thought it was actually pretty unique how they explained the story. After you know she helps them get out of this time stream, she's like in her 80s, like she's like on the brink of like her just dying because she's old as hell, and she dies. And then after that, I was like, what the fuck? That was kind of a sad conclusion to that character. But then after that, they finally, the Fantastic Four finally have the chance to get out of the time stream, and you get to see their life within the beginnings of the first issue, of them versus the Green Monster and then other events, until they get to the present point, which they have the chance to fight a villain that put them in the time stream to begin with, and they beat his ass, and then bam, that's how it ends. I would say it was pretty good, considering that it was just told in one story. But I'm just so happy they brought Humberto Ramos back, because I haven't seen him draw anything in this series since like the last issue to do with the Malice Woman arc. And oh my god, they did something really funny in this. They killed off Johnny's mustache. They killed this mustache off, and I was like, what? They even put like a RIP in the letter section, and I was like, what? That's kind of funny. They killed off his mustache, but yeah, I guess basically he killed off his mustache to counter the villain at the end. But Yeah, they killed his mustache. I can't believe that. But, oh god, after this, we're not gonna get anything interesting with Fantastic Four, because after this, they're gonna make a whole bunch of tie-in books with the X-Men. And we're not gonna get a unique story arc until maybe next year. They kind of legit said that in the comment section. Like, fuck. Because Fantastic Four has been up and down a lot. The best it was during the Malice arc, and that's the best it's ever been. Like, before even the Malice arc, it had a lot of filler issues. It didn't really do that much. But the thing that kind of kept me wanting to keep reading was like the heart, and also the art that the stories have. But after that, after the Malice Women arc, it just kind of, I don't know, it just didn't land for me. But now I need to wait a long time for it to get good again. But let's get on to the next. Mary Jane Face It Tiger. This is basically like an issue celebrating 60 years of Mary Jane as a character from her first appearance. And yeah, there's like four stories. They're decent, they have really nice art and stuff. The last story basically shows her life after the events of Queen in Black, basically showing her new series that's going to come out, which involves her going back into the movie business, which you see in that last story, showing some of that, alluding to it. But yeah, it's nice. I really ended up liking this cover I ended up getting. This cover is like a isekai cover, which is basically like an anime trope where basically someone from the real world gets put into a medieval world and they try to fight by being, I don't know, like magicians, knights and stuff like that. So yeah, this is a homage to that sort of trope with Mary Jane as like the wizard. And I really love this cover. Of course they made it look like an anime, but awesome cover. And now we have Wade Wilson issue number 7. And they have a lot of a lot of Mary Jane covers celebrating her 60 years as a character. And for the Deadpool one, I ended up getting this one. Her grabbing Deadpool's head and treating it like it's a skull from Hamlet, which that's the whole point of it. But yeah, I really love this cover. But what I don't love is actually the story within Deadpool issue number 7, because since issue 6, they introduced an arc. Each time he goes into like a battle or fight where he loses like a limb or anything that gets lost from his body that just get discarded on the ground, turn into like little like abominations of himself, and the whole premise is just him killing them off and shit, since issue 6. And I thought that issue 6 was okay. Issue 7 was not good. Oh god, after this, that is actually something that I'm hype about, which is basically Deadpool collabing with the Punisher. Those two series are gonna like, collab with each other, and I can't wait for that. That is gonna be interesting. Deadpool, going against the Punisher, that is gonna be fucking hype. But yeah, filler issue, but yeah. Alright, now we have Amazing Spider-Man 34. Oh god, I know a lot of people don't like Spider-Man, but I enjoy it. It's hard, it's really weird to explain, just to say it, but Spider-Man, has a lot of filler issues right now. But the thing I can say with Spider-Man that the Fantastic Four doesn't do, within the filler issues, the main plot is moving in the background. Not fast, but it at least has a plot. Fantastic Four doesn't have shit. But the plot of this is basically, Spider-Man going against one of his OG foes, Electro. And after that battle, he goes, back to the main story, or the background story, where he tries to like investigate Aunt May's son, because they're still trying to build up that story within, Peter trying to learn more about, Aunt May's son. And yeah, he's suspicious of him. So basically he has, Robbie Robinson to look into him, and he finds out that this guy is actually a good person. He's a rich dude that inherited all his rich parents' money, and he used the money for good. He's a business guy that does really good things for his employees. He gives money for charity and some other good things. And Spider-Man's like, Peter Parker's like, damn, this guy is actually good. Okay, all right. But if you see in the future issues, that guy, Peter's his cousin, my bad, is gonna be a villain. I just don't understand how he becomes a villain or why. That's something that I'm pretty sure is gonna be shown in the 1000 issue of Spider-Man, which I'm really fucking excited about, to be honest. Unlike a lot of people, but I like Spider-Man. But this is the cover I ended up getting as my main cover. I mean, it's not the main cover, but one of the covers I ended up getting. The Simon one. Simon? I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, but he makes really good covers, but he doesn't make them that often. But when he does, they slap, like this one. But yeah, as a Spider-Man fan, I get multiple covers. And I also got the Mary Jane cover to celebrate her. Yeah, it's a nice cover. Chris Anka, I think that's his name, that made this cover. He's a really good artist that started making covers, a lot of covers recently. And yeah, and then I'm getting this one. And to finish it off, oh god, my third cover. This is a legacy cover. I guess when basically Spider-Man, you know, had his ass hanging from a ledge, you know, when Tombstone was like gonna drop his ass. But yeah, if you've seen Brand New Home, I can't believe I just said Brand New Home, like fucking Peter Parker's fucking homeless, man. What the fuck? I can't believe I said that shit. I'm sorry. That shit was cool. But yeah, one more legacy issue, and you know, to do with showing his Spidey's life. I've been getting all these damn covers. I really freaking like them. But yeah, this, I forgot the name of the artist, but this guy's really good. I really like his art style. But yeah, can't get enough of the fucking covers they released. They are really good. But yeah, this marks this week's comic book crap, or what the. I hope you enjoyed the reviews, because there's more to fucking come. See you next week.